Retail theft is at an all-time high right now, with many businesses and consumers being affected.
They're pushing back against more shoplifting that they're seeing, both by large groups and individuals.
Now, Governor Kathy Hochul was in New York City this morning to announce her plan to combat this growing problem.
Retail theft is no longer one person waiting for the right moment to walk in a store when no one's looking and just snatch one item.
We had a shoplifter in the store, and we had escorted him out of the store 4 times. He was trying to shoplift.
Ongoing problem for bodegas, grocery stores, mom and pop businesses in both common and luxury retail chains.
Escalating theft crisis. Imagine walking into your local grocery store in New York City, eager to grab your favorite snacks or ingredients for tonight's dinner, only to find that the shelves are half empty and security alarms are blaring. That's the reality for many New Yorkers as the city faces an escalating theft crisis in its grocery stores. Nearly every grocery store in the Big Apple has fallen victim to shoplifting and burglary this year. It's like a scene from a heist movie, but unfortunately, it's happening right in our neighborhoods. From bustling Manhattan to the quieter corners of Queens, no store seems to be immune to the wave of theft sweeping across the city.
Retail theft is at an all-time high right now, with many businesses and consumers being affected.
Ongoing problem for bodegas, grocery stores, mom and pop businesses in both common and luxury retail chains.
The people who they send into the stores have drug problems.
They're barely hanging on as it is, and they come out of it thinking the sunny skies are back, the bright days are here.
This is an entirely untenable situation for our stores and the community.
What's even more shocking is the frequency of these burglaries. Can you believe that a whopping 60% of stores report experiencing break-ins every single day? That's right. It's not just an occasional occurrence. It's becoming a daily nightmare for store owners and employees. It's as if the thieves have marked these stores as their personal playgrounds, striking fear into the hearts of hard-working business owners. But what exactly are these thieves after? Well, it seems like nothing is off limits. From gourmet coffee to fresh shrimp, even the most basic necessities like bread and milk aren't safe from their sticky fingers. It's a sad reality when everyday items that we rely on for our meals become targets for theft. It's not just about the stolen goods either. It's about the impact on the community. When stores are constantly losing inventory to theft, it puts a strain on everyone. Prices go up to cover the losses, making it harder for everyday New Yorkers to afford their groceries. And let's not forget about the store owners who pour their blood, sweat, and tears into running their businesses, only to see their hard-earned profits vanish overnight. In the face of this crisis, it's clear that something needs to be done. Whether it's beefing up security measures, implementing stricter penalties for thieves, or providing support for affected businesses, action is needed to ensure that New York City's grocery stores remain safe and accessible for all. After all, nobody should have to worry about their local store being ransacked every time they go shopping. Impact of organized crime. Imagine a heist straight out of a Hollywood movie, but instead of targeting banks or museums, the thieves have set their sights on something more mundane yet equally valuable: retail stores. In New York City, shoplifting has transformed into a well-oiled machine of organized crime, leaving both small businesses and major chains reeling from the impact. Gone are the days of petty thefts by individuals looking to score a quick snack or a new outfit. Today's thieves operate with precision and sophistication, orchestrating elaborate schemes to steal merchandise worth thousands of dollars.
We had a shoplifter in the store, and we had escorted him out of the store 4 times. He was trying to shoplift.
People deserve to be able to walk their streets, go to their shops, go in their stores safely.
And someone else walks in with a backpack, goes and empties the shelves, and then walks out, and you're still waiting to pay your bill.
Now, there's a reason Governor Hochul is going after shoplifters because, well, it's part of a growing trend.
But we also appreciate the changes in the law that will allow Mike McMahon, myself, and other DAs.
It's no longer just a nuisance. It's a full-blown crisis that's shaking the foundation of the retail industry. The financial toll of this organized crime wave is staggering. Retailers in NYC are bleeding billions of dollars annually due to theft-related losses. Just think about what that money could have been used for: hiring more employees, expanding product offerings, or even lowering prices for consumers. Instead, it's being siphoned off by criminals who see no consequences for their actions. But it's not just about the bottom line for businesses. These thieves aren't just after high-end electronics or designer clothing. they're also targeting essential goods like food. And when the food supply is threatened, it's the city's most vulnerable residents who suffer the most. Imagine being a low-income family struggling to put food on the table, only to find that your local grocery store has been cleaned out by thieves. It's a dire situation that highlights the human cost of organized crime. The impact of this crime wave extends far beyond the walls of the stores themselves. It creates ripple effects throughout the entire community, driving up prices for consumers and eroding trust in local businesses. And let's not forget about the psychological toll it takes on store owners and employees who constantly live in fear of being targeted by criminals.
They're pushing back against more shoplifting that they're seeing, both by large groups and individuals.
The outbreak of brazen smash and grab robberies and shoplifting is showing no sign of stopping.
Retailers saying it's not only hurting business, but has compromised the safety of employees and customers.
It's just happening too often, and it's just terribly, terribly upsetting.
Theft and organized retail crime that are threatening the safety of our team and guests.
In the face of such a daunting challenge, it's clear that action is needed to combat organized crime in the retail sector, whether it's through increased law enforcement efforts, tougher penalties for offenders, or innovative security measures. Something must be done to stem the tide of theft and protect the livelihoods of businesses and the well-being of residents. Because in the end, it's not just about protecting profits, it's about safeguarding the fabric of our communities. Consumer implications. Ever notice your grocery bill creeping higher and higher, even for the same items you've been buying for years? Well, there's a good chance that retail theft is to blame. You see, when businesses suffer losses from theft, they often have no choice but to pass those costs on to consumers in the form of higher prices. It's a vicious cycle. As theft rates skyrocket, businesses find themselves hemorrhaging money just to keep their shelves stocked. And when they can't keep up with the losses, they're left with no other option but to consider closing their doors for good. Imagine your favorite neighborhood grocery store shutting down because they simply can't afford to stay in business. It's a devastating blow to the community and a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of retail theft. But it's not just brick-and-mortar stores that are feeling the squeeze. The rise of online resale platforms has made it easier than ever for thieves to unload their stolen goods, further exacerbating the problem. You might think you're getting a great deal on that new phone or designer handbag, but what you might not realize is that it could be a stolen item being sold by someone looking to turn a quick profit. And let's not forget about the impact on communities and access to essential goods. When businesses are forced to close their doors due to theft, it leaves residents with fewer options for where to shop for groceries, clothing, and other necessities. Suddenly, what used to be a quick trip to the store becomes a trek across town, wasting time and money for everyone involved. Government response and initiatives. Governor Kathy Hochul isn't sitting idly by while New York City's retail theft crisis rages on. She's rolling up her sleeves and taking action with a bold $45 million plan to combat the problem head-on. And let us tell you, it's about time someone stepped up to the plate. What exactly does this plan entail? Well, for starters, there's a focus on cracking down on the bad guys, those violent shoplifters who think they can waltz into a store, snatch whatever they want, and walk away scot-free. Under the governor's proposal, these criminals would face stiffer penalties, hopefully serving as a deterrent to others who might be tempted to follow in their footsteps. But it's not just about punishing the perpetrators. It's also about giving law enforcement the tools they need to get the job done. That's why a chunk of the $45 million will go towards funding for police and district attorneys, ensuring that they have the resources necessary to investigate and prosecute these cases effectively.
$45 million plan that the governor hopes will make store owners and shoppers safer.
Sandra, this plan affects a lot of people and will make all of them very happy.
A shoplifter went to our location. We escorted him out of the store 4 times.
Retail theft is no longer one person waiting for the right moment to walk in a store when no one's looking and just snatch one item.
A way to make sure that there is a warning. If you come back, you're going to be arrested.
Sounds like a solid plan, right? Well, not so fast. Some folks are raising concerns about whether these initiatives will actually make a difference in the long run. After all, throwing money at a problem doesn't always solve it, especially when there are deeper systemic issues at play. And then there's the question of timing. Sure, $45 million is nothing to sneeze at, but will it be enough to turn the tide in a timely manner? Businesses are struggling to stay afloat in the face of rampant theft, and every day that passes without meaningful action puts them at greater risk of closure. So while Governor Hochul's plan is a step in the right direction, there's still work to be done to ensure that it has the desired impact. We can't afford to let businesses continue to suffer while we wait for solutions to materialize. It's time for action, and it's time for results. Let's hold our elected officials accountable and make sure they follow through on their promises to protect our communities and businesses from the scourge of retail theft. Challenges and uncertainties. When it comes to combating retail theft in New York City, it's not all smooth sailing. In fact, business owners are facing some pretty hefty challenges that are making it difficult to keep their stores safe and secure. First off, let's talk about the little guys, the mom-and-pop shops and corner stores that make up the fabric of our communities. These folks often operate on shoestring budgets, which means they don't have the luxury of investing in top-of-the-line security systems or hiring round-the-clock security guards. So when thieves come knocking, they're left scrambling to figure out how to protect their livelihoods without breaking the bank. And then there are the pesky progressive laws that are supposed to protect everyone but end up doing more harm than good. You see, while these laws might sound great on paper, they often tie the hands of law enforcement and make it harder to crack down on criminals. It's like trying to fight a fire with one hand tied behind your back. You might make some progress, but you're never going to put out the blaze for good. But perhaps the biggest uncertainty of all is the long-term effectiveness of government initiatives aimed at tackling the problem.
So the governor has a $45 million plan to stop retail theft.
Retail incidents involving physical force have more than doubled. This is not stealing anymore.
Now, Governor Kathy Hochul was in New York City this morning to announce her plan to combat this growing problem.
Governor Hochul proposing a $45 million effort to stop retail theft and property crime, especially in New York.
Ashley Capro says Manlius police already fighting this crime as best they can.
Sure, Governor Hochul's $45 million plan sounds promising, but will it be enough to turn the tide in the long run? And what about the businesses that are struggling to stay afloat in the meantime? They need help now, not some vague promise of relief down the road. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.